Good evening, one and all. How are you all doing this evening? Got a few people in the chat. Richie, good to see you. Creek Hammer, Ginger Steve, hope you're doing well. Ginger says, told you to build and paint lizardmen last week, not dark elves, then comes out with the dark elves. Little does he know, I only built a Stegodon so I can switch back and copy his list. I think the list is going to be fine. I don't know that it's necessarily going to be a world beater, but we'll give it a go. It's got a lot of guns. I need to finalize the list. I am tempted by some cold ones. Good to have you as well, Creek Hammer. Hope you're doing well. Dark Elves have been in cold storage since Old World launch. Perhaps the time to see the light of day is approaching. That depends. How many repeater crossbow wielding models have you got? Because that's going to be the big tell there. Can I member only on PC? Do I have to walk to my PC? Such a... Can I only member on PC? I don't know, man. I do know that iOS takes a cut. I don't think Android does, and I don't think PC does. So if you have a choice between the two, feel free to go for the one that's more inconvenient to you. But you absolutely don't have to. So, I am doing some Dark Elf hobby because LGT is in, like, what are we saying? 2 weeks? And I have 2 models built and no models painted, so I need to pull my finger up. I was talking to Pip Hamilton, and he recommended me some of these Turbo Dork paints because I was trying to go for a... Let's see if I got it here. Yeah, I was trying to go for a metallic effect, which is fine. And I quite like how the metallic effect came out, but I hate the wings. The wings they make me sad. So this one might need to be looked at. But yeah, this one here, this is the Sorceress, hasn't got any paint on. Fuck it, I'm fat if I have to walk. I'm not spending £3. That's exactly the correct attitude. Love to hear it. I've got a better camera this time around than last week. I hope that's appreciated. The reason I put on a sort of give me 8 minutes to get my shit together is I was jury rigging a hold for my my tablet, which I'm hoping doesn't run out of power. No, it should be fine. Thank you, Ginger Steve. Muchos apreciado. You are a kind man. But yeah, so I've got boxes. I hear unboxing streams are popular. So what if I just do a boxing stream? You can't see me unboxing it. You'll see me box it. You've got them boxes. They are nice boxes. Oh, you sub at the Grail Knight tier? Thank you very much. It doesn't actually tell me on this streaming service what people have subscribed for, but that is very much appreciated. Are you on Discord? Oh, I don't know why I put this just out of frame. There we go. Woo! That's a lot of Dark Elves. So I think the place to be is I probably want to give... Let's start with just testing how well the color shift works. I've just thrown everything everywhere. I'm sorry for what I'm sure was a terrible amount of noise. Not till I've got a link. I've got many Discords. Yeah, cool. Let me just have a look here. I can whack one in. Let me load that up in the background. Because the weather's starting to get a little bit colder, my PC is running slower than I'd like, which is the opposite problem to summer, where it runs hotter than I'd like. Both times it slows down, but what are you going to do, eh? I do have a stack of elves there. Yeah, it's I've got an event in 2 weeks, so I gotta get my shit together. Let's have a look here. Matt Simon, did you see that recent Northern Exile video? They're looking for elves and expecting Christmas elves. Shown dark elves and said those aren't elves, those are little freaks. That is That sounds about right. I need to check that out. That sounds like a fun. What bolt throwers did I get? I haven't actually got any bolt throwers. I think at 80 points, the bolt throwers are just not efficient enough for me to be interested in, which is, yeah, Creek Hammer. So the thing that makes it good is that you roll a lot of dice. So the list that I'm playing around with at the moment, it's got like 108 shots, and I think I could probably squeeze in a little bit more efficiency. So the list is a Lord on Dragon, a Sorceress on Dragon, and then also 2 Scouting and Fire and Flee units of Dark Riders, 1 other unit of Dark Riders, maybe a unit of Foot Crossbowmen, and then just Shades. And that's where I'm spending the points. So that feels like it's probably going to be a good way to spend my points. I like Cold One Knights. These bottles are surprisingly hard to open. There we go. Maybe they're just childproof and I'm a child. But yeah, I like cold ones. My problem is I'm going to be spending like 200 and, whatever, 270 odd points on the models, and that really reduces the amount of shots I can bring to bear. And I think it's a quantity over quality with the shots. What the hell is this? All right, so this Turbo Dork paint looks like PVA glue. Have I not shook it enough? It does say shake well, and I can see there's glitter at the bottom. Maybe I need to shake more. Let's try shaking more. Yeah. There's a GIF for you. Some spicy OnlyFans content. Am I using the OG Shade model? No, I'm actually using the Corsairs. So Corsairs are fairly terrible, and I'm going to have about 30 spare heads from all of the Dark Riders I bought, because it's a multi-kit. You also get the, what do you call them? Doomfire Warlocks, which are terrible. They're like Sisters of the Thorn, but bad. So I'm just going to have 30 naked heads that I can put on the Corsairs, and that should do the job. Need a paint shaker. Yeah, I do. It makes a satisfying noise. I'll give them that. Probably shouldn't be shaking it with my gammy hand. I developed RSI years ago playing Path of Exile. Great game at the time, no regrets. And it's mostly under control, and then occasionally I'll sleep on it funny, or like knock it, and I get wrist pain for a week or two. So, strapped up. Gonna try and not use that hand to do anything that's going to cause me pain. God, this does need a good shake. I'm not sure if I'm going to be wowed by the this paint. I don't know. I feel okay. That looks better actually. It did look like PVA glue before, so we're just going to get that out of the way. Well, looks the Sisters of the Thorn, but balanced. I don't know if I'd agree. I think they're just actively bad. So Sisters of the Thorn compared to the Doomfire Warlocks. Sisters have a 4-up invuln all the time. Doomfire Warlocks have a 5-up against non-magical attacks, I think it is. They've got better spell laws. They've got better access to the +1 to cast. You've got to have unit strength for Doomfire Warlocks, and you get to... It's command for Sisters, I think. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. All right, I don't want to try thinning this down to start off with. Okay, that's not unpleasant. Paint it over black. See if I can get a bit more light on this. 1 sec. This is this whole additional camera streaming thing is slightly new to me. There we go. That hopefully makes a difference. So can you see? Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can see a little bit of the fluorescent on the wing. So let's keep giving that a go and see how we get on. That's actually an effect that I don't hate at all. Of course, now I've got to think about what to do for the struts, the rest of the dragon, because I think having this for the actual skin feels pretty good. I just need to work out what I'm doing elsewhere. It's kind of hard to go in and do the contrast over silver after this, but maybe I could do it. That's a pleasing sort of shine. I don't hate that at all. Yeah. Let's have a look. Shadow Warriors into shades. Yeah, hell yeah. I'd love to see some pictures. Shadow Warriors are currently more than 100 quid for 5. Ooh, I'll leave it as pictures then, instead of an actual hobby project. But I think the Corsairs will work really well. Steve says, wait till you're 40. That story is the same with the whole body. I am in the process of getting back into better shape. I used to be in pretty decent shape, especially because I used to run a coffee shop. Got made redundant through COVID, which was great. Obviously, sucked at the time, and I had to rearrange how everything was happening. But I'd still be running that place now if I hadn't had the push to go and do something else. And now I've got weekends off, which is great for actually going to tournaments. Oh, man. There's still 110 point fast cav to give the peg source something tied. Like, I get that, but I think as well, they've got no weapons that I care about. They've only got hand weapons. So this is the Thorn on top of having Pillar of Fire, or theoretically Plague of Rust, but it doesn't really come up all that much. They've got move and shoot javelins with, I think, AP1, something like that, which is nuts. Poisoned javelins, move and shoot, AP1. But yes, you're right, they shouldn't exist the way they currently do. But I wouldn't mind seeing them somewhere in the middle. Honestly, I think if you got rid of Pillar of Fire from the game, I could see a world where Sisters of Thorn don't even make it into the list. Maybe that's too hot of a take. I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about it much other than Pillar of Fire bad. Or rather, good. Too good. Arguing for them after you've removed them from your list. Yeah, no, that's fair. Like, sometimes I get a pet unit that I really like. I'm like, I just want this to be good. And it's not, but I feel like I have to justify it. Fireball is still too good at them. Yeah. I think I'm so you're probably right in terms of like just having a Ruby Ring of Ruin with 5 wounds, and a 4 up board. That is very good for the 130 odd points and everything else they get. But I don't know how much I love it, because you've got a lot of like no AP shooting with Wood Elves anyway. I could see not bothering at all. Right. This is from the age of Warhammer models when you didn't have to use instructions. But I'm still going to have it open because... There we go. Sorry for the infernal rattling. These are kits that I'm pretty jazzed to build, actually. They feel like they're from the perfect era of Warhammer, which is they're old enough that they're not super complex, and they just have arms that attach to the arms instead of these weird inny-outy joints that you used to see. But they're still simple enough that they're just, you pick them up and build them. So that's cool. Alrighty then. Let's give it a go. Apologies for all the rustling there. I think I'd like to work out some way to put a noise gate on this recording software and this microphone. Neither of them have a noise gate inherently. I'm sure there's ways around that. I just haven't looked into them yet because, to be honest, it was pretty late in the day. I decided I wanted to stream. So let's just get to it, I guess. Be brave and add some cold ones. See, I'm not super bothered by the stupidity. I really like cold ones on paper. I think they're a really solid unit. The cold ones, am I right in thinking cold ones have 2 attacks each? The actual mounts, 2 attacks, strength 4, armor vein 1, something like that. And then obviously the knights themselves have 1 attack, it's strength 6, AP 2. The T4, you can give them full plate, which obviously you would. So they're a tasty little unit. However, that's a lot of guns that I could put in the list. And if you're bringing an all guns list, you kind of need all guns. They're also like the only semi-hard target in the list apart from the dragons. So if my opponent's got stuff with good AP, but not good enough strength to deal with dragons. So, for example, that's where the Pillar of Fire goes. That's where the Plague of Rust goes, if they've got good output. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about giving my opponents just like a really efficient place to put loads of shooting, which otherwise would just be shooting into skirmishes, which is going to kill them, don't get me wrong, but everything kills skirmishes, so sure. Let's see if I can move my hands up, actually. This setup definitely needs to be tweaked. The camera quality is a lot better. That's good. What's not great is the fact that I've got a bloody tablet that's just about to hit my head here. You can't see it. That my finger's touching it. Hold on, if I... Hey, there we go. You can see the belt that's holding the tablet in place. Bought that for editing. Haven't used it for editing. That was a mistake. Gold ones are another unit to have as a body armor for pixels. Yeah, no, that's fair. 2-up save, put a level 14 or near them and some lodestones. That's the problem. So because I'm going double dragon, I got to be real tight with my points. So someone suggested on Discord a loadout, and I can't remember who it was. I'll have to double check when I make a video talking about the list. I'll have to make sure I credit them, because a lot of the time when people suggest things, you go, "Oh yeah, that's fine," or especially the YouTube comments, someone will be like, "Have you thought about putting a biting blade on your strength 3 caster?" It's like, that's a terrible idea. Why would you do that? And then occasionally, very occasionally, you get someone leaving a comment that just makes loads of sense. And you're stopped and stunned because you're like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want. So, yeah. Anyway, long story short, from that backwards diatribe insulting you all, is the Spell Eater Axe on a Dragon Lord. Because Dreadlord, that's the one. I was thinking about running just like a lance or even just a biting blade. I'm quite concerned at LGT I'm going to have to play against multiple Bretonnian players. I'm not bringing this list to win the event. If I was going to win, I'd be taking Bretonnians with the Green Knight. So there are going to be people who are going to win who are taking Bretonnians with the Green Knight. So I need to have some solid answers to that. And that is that's my TED talk for why I'm putting the Spell Eater Axe on my Dragon Lord. Also magic resist 2. Just, it feels good. I ain't getting miasmid. You can scale the common ones with shades, less than ballistic skill shooting, and evade the shades if someone shoots at them instead. Huh. You know what? I was bemoaning the other night that shades don't have evasive. Halt this conversation until I go figure out what the fuck a Spell Eater Axe is. It's a main book magic item, 35 points. It's a weapon. And it is strength user, AP1, magical attacks, and also armor bane. Not armor bane, sorry, magic resist 2. 35 points, so it's cheaper than 2 obsidian lodestones, but it's also a magic weapon, so I can threaten the Green Knight just a little bit. What am I looking for? Yeah, shades having evasive. I swear when I read them they didn't. Hey, is this good content? Capturing my phone on my tablet while streaming on my PC. Hell yeah, they have evasive. Okay, cool. That's huge. Evasive is like one of the best rules in the game. I'm a huge fan of that. I don't know how I missed it the first time round. Don't worry, Zach's only scenery will be a single cornflake box to use as I wish. That's true. That's true. So someone I was talking to at the club, because my local is the TSN Arena, #flex, was saying he wanted to put the Green Knight on a bit of bark terrain, so anywhere he came in was on natural terrain. Tongue-in-cheek, not just being a dickhead, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone tries that at some point in the old world. You know someone's got to. You missed it because you're not as good as a Dark Elf player as me. You've just unlocked it. I mean, yeah, no, I objectively am not a good Dark Elf player because I haven't played any games with them yet. Got a practice game in over the weekend at some point. One booked in next weekend as well with Jack Allen, who is good. Oh god damn! Bought a new plastic glue, and this is already bent. I don't know how that's happened, but I'm not pleased about it. Okay, just nabbed it from the old one. I've just realised as I was complaining about it being bent, I did just open it with my teeth. I don't think I used too much pressure, but maybe that's on me. Apologies to Revel, contactor professional, for demeaning your good name. It's probably my fault. I'm just being a muppet. Okie dokie. Oh, that's a faster flow than I would have liked. And now you're going to be covered in bloody plastic glue. Okay. This is a really nice kit. I enjoyed my time coming back to the game and playing 40k. I really enjoyed sort of getting into the game competitively. But God, I missed these models. Old world models or fantasy models, they just hit different. Take much longer to paint. I can't bash out an army in 3 days. Not to a standard that I'm happy putting on the table, but yeah, I'll take that trade-off. These models are beautiful. Some of them anyway. Looking at you fucking last week's gutter runners. Someone stepped on one of my gutter runners at the event last weekend and obviously was immediately apologetic. And like, I'm a super chill guy. I'm never going to be like a dick if someone makes a mistake. But I felt nothing. I felt no anger. I was like, oh, cool. Thank you for murdering one of the models I hate. I'm just realizing I'm missing a part. Let's go on. Dark Elves I've played, but with a silly high ceiling cap. A bit like GSC, but without the full rule set. Yeah, no, I think that sounds pretty realistically accurate to me, which is cool. I love that sort of army. I played Nids a lot when they were good in 40k, and then transitioned to playing Tau at a time where Dark Angels with 30 Deathwing Terminators just hard countered them right out of the meta. I was like, yeah, this is fine. This is what I want to be doing. This is the penance for playing an army that's really easy, and now I've become a lazy player. Getting this into the old world, he'd be playing elves. He would 100% be playing elves. I have no doubt of that. I don't think the world is ready for Innies to come. I've been talking to Brian Seep. He liked one of my videos on Facebook, and I was like, hey bud, you thinking about old world? So he'll occasionally ask me a question about orcs and goblins, just like, is this terrible? He found a lot of models that's roughly 2,000 points the other day. Sent me a picture, beautifully painted, really nicely converted. And I'm just like, oh, is this a good army or is it terrible? Sorry, but it was terrible. It had some Boar Boys, some Black Orcs, and a Wyvern Boss, and I was like, that bit's good. But then there were like 2 ranked up units of just regular Orc Boys and some other bits and pieces. It wasn't it, unfortunately, which is a shame. The spell Eater Axe is easy to look back because you want axes for axing normally, but it's a Sword of Might with discount magic rest. Yeah, it's like the least impressive part of an elf on a dragon is the elf, right? Unless it's a level 4 spellcaster, at which point, like, daddy like. But I'm super underwhelmed by the output of a Dark Elf Lord with Great Weapon or Lance. Realistically, more likely a Lance for the armor save. So why not just take the magic resist? I think it's really good. I have had to cut the Ruby Ring of Ruin, and that is one argument that people have been making for me to put the whatchamacallit back in, the Cold One Knights in, because you can put a Ruby Ring of Ruin on them, and I was like, I get it, but that's a really expensive Ruby Ring. Also, over time, my opinion on Ruby Ring is going down. It's still good, But before I was like, this should be in every army. And I'm like, it's cheap for what it does. I can live without it. Definitely nothing to do with the fact that I forgot to use it in my first game at the TSN Arena. That game was not my best work. I think it'd be funny to get a top level 40k player to have a go at Old World and learn it, give them 6 weeks and watch them break the whole thing. First of all, rude. How dare you? I'm here. Excuse you. Second of all, yeah, no, that's basically it. I think it's surprisingly hard to transition over to Old World, because 40k brain is so much like be efficient, stand on the point, play the trading game, whereas Old World is way more open. So the things that are good are way less obviously good, which is interesting. I like it. I really like it. I think there's a lot more tactical play that you can pull off in a rank and flank game, especially when you're playing fast armies. God, I love me some fast armies. But yeah, there's a lot that can be done there. One of Ennis's WTC teammates, an old friend of mine. Oh, hell yeah. Is it Matt? Is it Matt? I've forgotten his second name. I always forget his second name. Please say it's Matt, because Matt is lovely. Can you put the Ruby Ring of Ruin on a unit champ? Only I think it's Blackguard and Cold One Knights. And I don't really love either of those choices, honestly. Like, both are fine, but not particularly exciting. Yeah. Cool. With Cold One Night, it's no longer the same shade. Yeah, it's 40% less shades, 100%. So you're skewing more away. So here's an interesting conversation, and I know Callum has been weighing in on this. Which lore do I go for my spellcaster? That's the question to go for. Although I'm so far away from even being seen, we're going through the shooter and monster meta, but the tiny range of 500 max for a character might change it. Yeah, 100%. There's a load of choices. Silver's Scratch Built Productions. Good to see you. That's a hell of a channel name. I'm assuming also a YouTuber. I will have to check you out. No pressure. I hope you do have videos now, otherwise I've just... yeah. Not Matt, but I think I did meet him and he's lovely. Yeah, Matt's super nice. I've played Matt a few times. Have I beaten Matt? I think Matt might be my kryptonite. I think I've played Matt 3 times and lost to him each time. Yeah, no, I'd have to double check. It might only be twice, actually. One of the games was played on fucking Tawny Keeper instead of on a real thing, so it's going to be impossible to go back and check. Oh, that's fine. I don't care enough. I don't even play the game anymore. So, these kids have got so much detail. Big fan. Big fan. Look at all these capes. I do love a cape. Where does this rumor of 25% characters come from? Is it reliable? It comes from a rumor. Is it reliable? Who can say? I was expecting to see a mission, like not Arcane Journal. What's the word I'm looking for? Like the big balance and rules books that they do in 40k and Age of Sigmar. I was expecting to see one of those before we got to LGT. I am wrong, because they'd have announced it by now. So, interesting. I was writing lists with a 500 point cap in mind, and that's just not appeared at all. So, makes a big difference. Oh, there should be a body in there. There really should be a body in there. God, this takes me back. I'm not even looking at instructions. I'm just sort of vaguely staring at the sprues. Maybe they don't need bodies. No, I think they just go straight on. General's Handbook, yes, thank you. I think it's going to be post Arcane Journal, if you were to guess. Yeah, I don't hate that, honestly, because they could be done with the Arcane Journals like this time next year very comfortably. That would not be difficult to do at all. I haven't actually talked much of the Scotland team, but they seem nice. What's my claim to fame? I played as a sub for England at one of the Battle of Britons. We won that event. That was cool. I've got in 2 parts. Oh yeah, here we go. I can show you one part of it. So here is a trophy that says, hold on. In fact, this will be easier to see. Battle of Britain, first place. Hell yeah. It should have like a Mjolnir on the top, but I've broken it. So Mjolnir is kicking around somewhere, but I have no idea where. I should really find that one at some point, because it is probably the best trophy I've won. I've got a nice Throne of Skulls, a bronze Throne of Skulls trophy from the first Warhammer World event I went through as well. I went 3-2, but I did really well on soft scores. So that doesn't, I don't count that as a particularly impressive thing to have, but it's just a cool bit of memorabilia to own. Play both 40k and what is now the old world. You have a 25,000 point Vampire Counts army. I noticed that you say had. Do you still have that, or any of it? Honestly, if you do, you're in such a good place. Vampire Counts, people are going to disagree with me. I think that's a very deep book. I think the problem is the screams are really good, so you're just going to want to play screams. It's my problem with Vampire Counts, because it's too obviously good for me to go for, but I'm not special snowflake enough to just play a bad list. But yeah, a lot of the stuff in that book is genuinely exciting to me. Please still have it. Yeah, I know. Please still have 25,000 points of Vampire Counts. That would be... If not, you'll be scratch painting a whole new army. I know I've said this 3 or 4 times now. I'm blown away by how much detail there is on these models. Like, these are really nice. I'm not actually sure where the camera is, because yeah. So if I go this way, there we go. On the tablet, the camera is somewhere in the middle. Sold it years ago when AOS came out. Oh, that is rough. I'm sorry to hear that. F's in the chat, boys. F's in the chat. Chris, Gavin, and Duncan, from the Scotland team. Not sure how involved they are all now. I don't know. I know they've had a bit of a shake-up. Innes is no longer captaining for next year's WTC. I think he's focusing on the gameplay as opposed to the leadership role, which I wonder if he'll do some coaching. Obviously still play for the team, but also be some role coaches as well, or something like that. Obviously something he's very good at. It's what he makes his living from. Paint 10 hours a day, 5-6 days a week, so painting a new one, but about... Holy shit, that's incredible. Are you a commission painter? I need to get you a better camera. What do you have? The head videos recorded on? Oh, buddy, just some webcam that I bought for Zoom back in the pandemic, I think. It's one of those, you're like, this is okay. It's fine. I'm thinking about upgrading to something at some point, but it's not sort of super high on my list of priorities. Hello, Craig. SD is my local buddy who we used to go to 40k tournaments together. Now we will go to UKTC tournaments together, but I'll play the old world ones and he can play the 40k ones. I don't know how many old world tournaments I'm going to hit for UKTC. I'm very keen to see how good LGT is. That'll be a bit of a barometer for me. Your audio is good. Yeah, I got a Blue Yeti. I got it on refurb, and it's good most of the time. But if I knock it, there is a world where it stops picking up audio. It's a quite uncommon problem, and it's not really an issue. because now that it's happened a couple of times, I just keep an eye on it, and I can see that the volume is picking up. But I did once record a 50-minute video with no audio, and I was so sad. so sad. I tell you what, these shields are a little bit odd. Let's see if I can pick them up. Some sort of like odd half chickens. I assume they're meant to be like ravens or something. Depends what I'm working at the time. 5 Imperial Warhead Townsends and 4 Chaos Titans for 40k. God damn. I've heard of people scratch building Titans, but doing multiple Titans at the same time, I guess from an economy of scale, it kind of makes sense. So you're going to be... Is the aim for some sort of like massive battle report? Is that the goal for those? Horsey. I haven't got any bases. My last army I did obviously on some really nice resin 3D printed bases, and I haven't ordered any this time round. And also, it's an outlay that I could probably avoid spending money on. But I think I just need to pick up some regular bases. I should do that fairly promptly. Which I will order from Element Games. Affiliate link down below. Haha! Streamer so smooth. I don't know why I never did Dark Elves back in the day. It did, to be fair. It took me a long time to work out how to play Warhammer without just run forwards, be the most efficient meat brick I possibly can be. I do love an efficient meat brick. Like, God, I love a meat brick. Oh, that was almost a disaster. Dropped a head. Caught the head, though. Well, stopped it falling. There is one Dark Rider. We're 45 minutes in. I'm quickly learning that these hobby hangouts are not very efficient, but they are fun. Good evening, existence. We're on Potato Cam and Potato Mic. We're relying on silky smooth voice. Send me the link to the Discord. I can do it. Okay. Well, thank you. I think my Discord might actually be in the description down below. Let me just double check if I actually put it in the live. Yeah, Discord should just be in the description. Give me a camera. That's super generous of you, man. That's very kind of you. You get to chat. I do get to chat. Ed, you have a voice for radio. I get told I have a face for radio. Funny joke, man. UKTC tried to move into Blood Bowl last year. That's funny. They went rabid because they thought that they were people thought they were stealing the name of a well-established large Blood Bowl tournament with the same acronym. That's quite funny. I've heard people describe Blood Bowl as one of the largest war games in the world. Is that right? What PC we're using? Yeah, I've got a decent enough PC. It's nothing that's ground shaking, but I have an okay PC. You know, graphics card, the whole shebang, couple of monitors. In case you couldn't tell, I'm a fucking nerd, and I love my video games, but I don't have time to play them anymore. Did play a game of CS earlier. Not wise with this fucking wrist. That's definitely hurt. Existence says I was trying to be kind. No, I appreciate that. When I used to run the coffee shop, people would be like, "Oh, has anyone ever told you got a voice for radio?" I got that genuinely 3 times a week, every week. which, honestly, what a compliment. I love it. I wanted to do radio back in day, but the reality of it, now that I'm in my 30s, I'd have to start doing the fucking graveyard shift, just all of the worst. Do I have an Elgato HDMI input or a USB equivalent or two? I haven't got anything. I haven't got any like stream plugin software, but that's not. I can do something about that. I've got USB inputs. That's something this PC has already. Went to the WTC there last night. 23,000 people playing, or 2,300, I should say. Damn. I missed this earlier. Feel the club members bought Wall of Titans and challenged me to a Titan ballot. I don't walk away from challenges. That's cool. That is indeed hardware. The GPU encoding via... Alright, I may need you to explain that. I'm a little bit of a nerd, but I'm not that much of a nerd. I'm assuming it's not related to my face for radio. What's everyone up to this evening? Anyone up to their own hobby while they have this on the background? Anyone got any tournaments coming up? I may have mentioned, but LGT is 2 weeks away, which is soon. Building Peasants. Ginger Steve has too many toys coming. I've seen some of those toys. I know you've got a couple of dragons that you were talking about. They look awesome. Normally OBS or slobs or whatever will give you a choice of video encoder. Yeah. Fair. I keep thinking I should probably move over to OBS. But I use Evemux just because it's what the 40K channel was using, and it's super easy. I can just rock up and press a button, and it does recording really well. I'm sure I could set up OBS to do the same sort of thing, but that's a job for me when I'm off. I've got a little bit of holiday in a couple of weeks' time, although I have cancelled some of it because I am running real short on holiday. The Phantom Titan that scares me. Oh, here we go. Look down. A million comments. Green stuff and sculpting tool. Yeah, you should absolutely continue it. That Razor Gore looked really good. I like that. Creek Hammer's chilling. Ginger Steve's trying to buy a bigger house to fit them in. I fully believe you. That's yeah, fantastic. Running ogres at a small one on Sunday in Sheffield. Painting chaos for when ogres suck. So you're painting ogres for now, eh? Ogres. I'd love ogres to be just a little bit better. Page for my first Titan dedicated to Nurgle on your community page. Hell yeah. I did start Googling you just to check out some of the stuff you were building, but I got halfway through and then got distracted by something. I should continue that so I can see some of these scratch built models, because I do love a good kit bash. Or, well, scratch built is obviously the next level, but I'm a big fan of kit bashing as well. James is painting up Black Hawk Chariot. Very nice. Did you convert one up yourself? What do you make it out of? Or are you just using one of the base ones? Wooter's got a game coming up with Dark Elves, either Hiles or Chaos this weekend. Hell yeah. Those are two armies that are worth knowing how to play into. So always good to get some practice, especially, as you say, it's a tournament list. Existence says, I'm used to slobs from streaming on Twitch. I didn't know you streamed on Twitch. Is that something you still do, or is that a past life? A previous existence? Oh, that works too well. Or it would have worked better if I could remember how to talk. So... let's have a look here. When I type your name in, Silver, I get Andy Mecha. Is that you? I'm assuming not, because these are not Warhammer stuff. Hell yeah, no, it's alright, I found you. I have found you. Let's have a look. You got a lot of videos up, my man. Right, I'll have to check those out later on. Happy with 1080p streaming. That is probably the limit of what I will ever use. Artisans of Full model with crew change to Black Orcs. That makes sense. That does make sense. Used to stream monthly. World of Tanks, can't be bothered. It's been some time. Yeah, that's fair. Once you're off the horse, it's very, very hard to get back on it, I think. I had a week. I was not doing as much stuff because I was ill with COVID. So I streamed once, and then I put up a video Lewis did, and I think something that I'd pre-recorded like previously. And then the next week, getting back into trying to make as many videos as possible, I struggled with motivation. So I just sort of lay in bed or sat on my ass, watched some YouTube shorts. It was an experience. Back to doing the hard graft. I say hard graft. It's not really hard because I like what I'm doing. One does enjoy making the YouTubes. I was talking to my manager today. Went in for my monthly one-to-one. Was booked in for an hour. We argued so much that we ended up taking 2 hours. Not a bad way, but you know, you gotta. If you got firm opinions, you gotta see them through. I think I won some of the arguments. I lost some of the arguments. This is all fair, you know. You can't win them all. But I did update her and showed her how the YouTube channel was going, because she takes interest in personal lives, which is nice. And the first thing she said was, "How do you turn this into a job?" Like, I'm trying. God, I'm trying. It's just a matter of time and size and commitment, and hopefully not stalling out. Ad revenue seems to be like the big thing. I don't know if that continues the bigger you get, if it scales up exponentially. I've noticed that the videos that do under 1,000 views tend to not do much in terms of ad revenue. Once you get above 1,000, you get something that's more impressive, which is cool. It's talking to Rob last weekend, gave me the advice that I should file a limited company, which is now just another thing I have to look into. But that's okay, because I think the benefits will be there. Being able to write off loads of things as tax deductible, such as buying models, apparently. So definitely something that's worth looking into, the amount of stuff that I end up buying. I'm missing a horse face, or not missing, but I'm not sure which horse face needs to go on this horse. Are the horse faces the same? I'm sure they're not. String was just a fun thing for me, never bothered to make money, is it? Yeah, that's super fair. Companies pay per 1,000 views, so it makes sense. Yeah, it does get broken down though, so it's not like you have to hit 1,000. But yeah, it does seem like once you've crossed that threshold, it is more worth your time to do from a monetization thing. Don't get me wrong, I'm making what is effectively still not peanuts, but not anything super exciting. But just from the ad revenue alone, I think in 3 or 4 months' time, I'll be back. I'll be out of the red for money I've spent setting up the channel, which was definitely the initial aim. So that's cool. Make sure you get the right horse face. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm looking for so long. I found it. It was on the other side of the lance. The other side of the thing that goes in horse mouth. Thing that goes in horse mouth. You know, that's how that goes. This arm probably needs to come off. It can be re-glued in a second. One of my favorite things about playing the Gribbly factions, you might call them, like Tyranids and stuff like that, is if you ever make a mistake, or if you've got like a 3D printed army and there's some bits that go a little bit wrong, super explainable by the fact that it's just all organic mass that's kind of mutated. But then you play one of those armies that wants to be fancy, that wants to look good and be really sharp and cares about its appearances, like dickhead elves. That's what the D stands for. D for dickhead. The bit, yeah. Craig says I'm a poet. Hell yeah. The poet Lauren. Pretty sure that's what they're called. Nurgle painting is all planned mistakes. That's I think a very good way of describing it. There's not even that bad mold lines on the helmet. Well, not on the helmet, on the kit itself, which is good. Like I say, this feels like it's just the perfect time. When did these models come out? Were they end time models? I should probably check that out. Penny Nurgle is just modern art. But you can get good modern art. I'm not a big modern art guy. I struggle to understand when things are just, yeah, you know, when it's the stereotypical or the sort of modern art that gets made fun of. I do struggle to grasp that. When I was back in uni, my friend Bacon, because that's a normal name to have, we did a cooking art installation. We made some cupcakes, took some black and white pictures, and wrote some flowery descriptions. God, I miss uni. I thought I wanted to be a lecturer. I do not want to be a lecturer. What I wanted is to go back to university and continue to work 10 to 15 hours for the rest of my life in an academia setting. When I thought about it, I was like, that's not what being a lecturer is going to be, is it? It's going to be actually working hard. 2014. Mold lines and scales are the worst. Took me ages to type them up. Yeah, that's fair. Again, sometimes you can just go a little bit more quick and dirty, which is it depends on your paint style. If you're looking to add battle damage, that's just ready-made battle damage, right? 40 plus hours. can confirm being a lecturer is nothing like being a student. Marking 100 essays. Yeah, so that's the thing. My dad, I mean, he doesn't lecture anymore, but he used to be a lecturer and now has moved into more managerial side of the university. But yeah. Sorry, Steve. I've just seen your message pop up. I'll respond to you. Let me just respond to Steve. Entertain yourselves. Talk among the class. Steve, don't say that. My skin would look great on you. I think it would be a great pair. Cold one mold lines are horrible. It's funny. I've made one. In fact, I haven't even made one. I've made one cold one, and I haven't made any writers. I did like a test paint scheme. Hold on, camera. How do I do this? Why is it so hard to find the goddamn camera on this thing? Am I inept? There we go. Look at that. No mold lines. I really like that paint scheme. And then I did it on a dragon, and I really didn't like it. So check when you can. Thank you, by the way. This is really generous of you. I appreciate that. I'm also terminally British, where, even thinking about money makes you blush. Still amongst the best models. Yeah, these cold ones are incredible. I'm a huge, huge fan. I know that if I was doing Lizardman, which is not off the cards, in a world where, it's not the right choice to take a dragon, I'd love to play some Lizardman. I really want the bound spell list to be good. I don't think it is, but it's hard because the cameras aren't good enough. You just want to count the pores before you wear my skin. That's that's again, super appreciated. So Ginger Steve, who has been talking in the chat, met him at an event, and he asked me a number of questions. I knew the answer to some of them because I have an okay amount of old world knowledge. And I was like, I'm gonna have to super tip you £5 for each one of these. I was like, funny, and then did. So again, really appreciate it. Better than paying Rupert Murdoch for Sky. Yeah. Oh God, if I'm being compared to Sky or Rupert Murdoch, do I have to say awful racist things? I feel like this is not what I want to do, but also probably not the right place for a political stream. I'm super uninvolved in politics anyway, so I don't know why that's coming up. The funny thing about having a conversation with no one is you just kind of stream of consciousness sometimes, which I'm okay at doing. But then you say something, you're like, where's this journey going to lead? In a terrible, terrible direction. Politics. Australia's second worst export. Is he Australian? I don't know why. I just assumed he was one of ours. He has the look. Awful racist things. Yeah, no. I'm saying that I don't want to do them. So you're okay. Unless you're an awful racist person, which I don't think you are. You seem like a very normal, adjusted person from the interactions that I've had with you. Second worst after Foster's. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. What's the worst export from Australia? What could it be? Shit beer does seem the most likely. I feel like all the things that we've got from Australia, like Knifey Spoony and Steve Irwin, are good. Migrant offshore detention. Yeah, that does sound pretty terrible. That does sound pretty terrible. Something I always find funny is when you see someone like a Warhammer YouTuber making strong political commentary. An interesting choice to go with. I'm not even really sure I'm enough an authority to be an authority on Old World. That's what I do 40 hours a week. Let's just say the man whose name you don't get you to say will be demonetized or Rupert the Racist. I don't know who you're referring to, Ginger Steve. If you want to affirm your terminal Britishness, the reason I clicked on your channel was because I wanted to check if your accent was English. Could tell from the still image. That, coming from you, I'm pretty sure that's an insult. I mean, that's an interesting topic to get into. So I haven't really found where I want to end up with on thumbnails. Some things I'm happy with, like the battle reports using the versus format. I think that works really well. And then sometimes I look at something like, that thumbnail works and it's going to be fine, but also I don't love it. Definitely some work to... Oh, you can't say it? Oh, okay. Thank you for typing it and letting me know that I can't say it. Interesting that you can't say the founder of the Second World War. This is a terrible game of charades. I don't like it. Which would you kill? That was the Joker's lost now. I see. My apologies. Oh, yeah, no, I get it. Time Machine, who are you after? I get you. I get you. Then we get into whether, going back and changing the past, what sort of effect that has. I don't know. Partially because it's made up, but also I don't know which fantasy version of time travel I could rationalize the best. You just say the founder of the Second World War. Well, so I've just been told that I can't say his name. And also, I'm pretty sure you're not going to say various other words. When I have nothing on my channel that goes, oh, you've said bad things, so I'd like to keep it that way. Just me in this little innocent corner of the world. I lost half of the bridle. There we go, bridle. That's the word I was looking for. Lost half the bridle on this model. Somewhere in the clipping out process. So gone forever now. Just take it all off. That's very much my approach. Is out. Bits of it missing. Let's just fix that with a knife. Can't even say his name, but found those pronounce. Yeah. Face thumbnail's a big factor of the growth. Yeah, that's good feedback. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's good, especially when this channel was initially aiming to be more collaborative with the rest of 6++. The interest in the team for Old World died out pretty quickly, which is not super surprising. They're 40k fans through and through. Some of them are currently looking at doing some Age of Sigmar stuff, I believe, which will be cool. I'm not interested in Age of Sigmar personally, but I will check it out. Because just seeing people who are competent at a game play a different game scratches an itch. Face thumbnails have gone from bad clickbait to just normal now. Yeah, so that when I was conceptualizing how I wanted this, how I wanted to approach things, I don't want to go with I don't want to say clickbait, but having the sort of YouTuber thumbnails is definitely something that I feel okay about, as long as the content following it is good. That's the sort of the logic I was going. It's like, it's not clickbait if people watch your video and enjoy it. That's the sort of thinking, and that's what I'm going with. It seems to be going well. Not gonna lie, this is like way more success than I was expecting at this point. Because launched the channel at the back end of April. We're in May, June, July, August, September, October. So we're in September. Yeah, so we're about 5 months in. The goal was 1,000 subs in 6 months, and obviously past that, which is neat. Approaching 2K. Definitely going to hit 2K before the end of the 6 months is up, which is awesome. Next goal is to become the second biggest old world channel. But I tell you what, Richie is flying out of the gates, so I might have some real competition there, which is awesome. He's absolutely blown out the starting blocks, which is incredible. Didn't mean to be insulted, just interest. No, I'm winding you up. I saw you talking about the British at one point, or the English, sorry, I should say, in a humorous, mocking way. Seems like a decent run of 40k folk who tried to have drifted away. So I think it's just a case of whenever a new shiny thing comes out, people are very willing to give it a go, and then don't stick with it because they're playing their one true love. So like in 6++, we had Tom, who was running for England at WTC, didn't get in the squad, but then was part of the team, was there, was doing a lot of the communication, did a lot of the streaming stuff on the Glasshammer stream, which was awesome. Really good success for him. So that was cool. Ed Watts we have as well, who had to drop out because of scheduling, but he, could have been up there. And then next year, I'm sure we'll have probably 3 to maybe 5 people, 3 to 5 maybe, who go for the England team. Whether or not they get in, I'm not sure, but it'd be awesome. I could see potentially one person making it onto the England team. So when you've got that level of commitment to a game, as much as it's fun to try the things, you can very quickly fall off and have to go back to something else, I think. 2K in 6 months is great. It's not a super mainstream topic. Yeah, no, I'm super happy with it. I think Old World is doing really well. I'm always amused when people say the game's dying or similar. Tom did great with commentary at WTC. Yeah, I didn't watch any, just on the basis of my interest in 40k is now, it's gone, realistically. I'm not saying I'll never get back into it, but right now it's just not something I'm paying any attention to. But I did see he was doing a lot of stuff, which is a great opportunity. Tom is a man with his finger in many pies. Does some writing for Goonhammer, now done some casting. Casting's incredibly fun. I did a little bit of casting with Mikey for a Goonhammer event a couple of years ago. That was great. I've just popped a head out when I didn't need to. That thought just went away like tears in the rain. Tell you what, let's get back to Warhammer, or get back to Old World. Shields. What are we thinking? Shields on the Dark Riders. I'm thinking probably, or at least on the Fire and Flare unit. The best defense is not getting hit, but I'm pretty sure that the Dark Riders don't have Fire and Flee, so they might have to tank a Fireball every now and then, and having a 5-up save will leave me with more models, which is, I think, going to be big. Especially because my entire army is either dragons or skirmishers with shooting. The Old World is dying. Games Workshop didn't release everything. Obviously, it's dead now. Oh yeah, no, that's right, Andy. There's not a single YouTuber who's currently covering the game. It's grim. No live streams, no videos. Gone but not forgotten. Fantasy will never go away, even when unsupported. There were a lot of people playing 6th through 8th, at least in southern Sweden. Yeah, I think there absolutely were people playing all over. Obviously, 9th Age was a thing, and there was another version of the game being played, wasn't there? Wasn't it just called like Warhammer Battles or something? I think, unfortunately, one of the worst things about not having a game be supported by Games Workshop is that the community fractures. And when a community fractures, you lose a lot of your mass market appeal, which comes with downsides, but there is absolutely upsides to it. Such as, it's very easy to get a pickup game. You can get your friends into it a lot more easily. One point on an 18-point model is negligible. That's exactly how I've been thinking about it. Old World is doing so well, its influencers are actually playing it, saying, hey, hell yeah. Not sure I think of myself as an influencer. But I don't know, is there a good name for someone who makes videos? YouTuber's fine. I don't hate YouTuber. Content creator sounds a little bit, I don't know, a little bit airs and graces. Or I'm just, I was going to go bad Cockney. Theory Hammer, what's the worst matchup for the Dark Elves, do I think? That is a great question. So, full disclosure, I've played 0 games with this army so far. I've played 1 game with Dark Elves, but it was like not... It was quite early on, and it was not this sort of list at all. And I think I ran 1 dragon. So I have basically no Dark Elf experience. So, I don't know. So, in theory, it's a little bit alpha strikey, because you have so many scouts. There are 3 drops in the list, or maybe 2. So it's... Yeah, internet dog. Fuck you, buddy. You're an internet dog. Armies Project, yes, thank you. Blood Bowl kept going for decades and no support from Games Workshop. Arguably bigger than when they supported it, right? From what people were saying earlier. Probably what you were saying earlier. List types, magic missile spam, Tomb Kings feel awkward. I could see that, especially with the -1 to hit, such that they don't come with, nor can you buy them reserve move. Yeah. If only they had a spell that gave them reserve move. I understand the way that I said that made it sound like there is one and you're all just being daft, but yeah. Anarchy does awesome airbrush stencils. Awesome. Just on a time basis, I don't think that's something that I'm going to be able to pick up for LGT, which is at the end of the month, but yeah. I don't know, I'm actually, the very initial, like, super quick test that I did, let's just have a quick look at that one again. So I painted a little bit of the reflective paint on the wing here. I like that. I need to work out what I'm doing for the, like, all the rest of it that isn't the skin. But yeah, no, I think that reflective paint from Turbo Dork is pretty cool. So I'll probably do dragons with that. I feel like they fell behind Glade Riders or Human Horsemen in that regard. That's fair. Dwarves used to be bad in 7th, but it's a lot better this edition. Sure. A lot of value is just chipping away. Oh yeah, Tomb King's healing it back. Yeah, that's a good point. Undead are probably a problem in that regard. I could see that. Even bigger now. Don't kill large bodies of models very quickly. Blown up since Games Workshop brought it back. Okay, that's cool. You love to see it. He says, playing a game that's blown up since Games Workshop brought it back. Big fan of that. Crossbows are good, but you need a lot to kill serious numbers. Yeah, so that's the reason that I haven't put Cold One Knights in the list. Because I can get up to... It's about 110 shots, basically. There's still variations to be had with how I decide to set the list up. But it's going to be something along those lines. What am I doing? I'm so busy talking that I'm not even paying attention. Oh, man. Michael says General's Handbook. I don't know if you are behind on the stream, Michael, but if you catch up, hello. I think that was about 40 minutes ago. Thank you for answering the question, though. I appreciate that. I need a lot to kill serious numbers, yeah. So, yes, that's what I was going to... I got distracted earlier. So, in terms of what I'm thinking of doing for the Sorceress, weird way to say that, for the Sorceress, there are a couple of options. You can go Battle Magic. So let's just start here. Illusion is off the table. I don't have money for Power Scrolls. I don't have money for... When I say money, I don't have points, sorry, for Power Scrolls. I don't have points for the Lore Familiar, so I can't guarantee getting the spells I need, and I don't have points for a magic weapon. So, straight off the table, Illusion's out of there. I do have an airbrush, and I just... It's like... It's fine. I can use it to an okay level, but it's so much faff to set up that I end up just sitting in brush painting, and I quite enjoy that. It's a bit relaxing. I'm quite a fast brush painter, which is, yeah, not a problem. Airbrushes are more efficient. I just don't love them, I think, is where I'm coming from there. So, yeah, going back to what I was saying. So, the options are, realistically, Battle Magic, which is just good. I will be taking a Spell Familiar. Well, I think it might be called Tome of Furion in Dark Elves, which is the +1 spell. So I'll have 4 out of 5 spells. So I don't guarantee the spell, but I probably get what I want. So the choice is Battle Magic, which is just generically good, and also Arcane Urgency is quite nice. Elementalism, which is a great lore, but not getting Plague of Rust 1 in 6 games makes me a little concerned, because that would be basically the entire reason to take it. There's not a lot else in there that excites me. Or Dark Magic. And I really like Dark Magic. Andy says, make sure you get a couple of Focus Familiars. I can't fit them in, unfortunately, Andy, because I'm going double Dragon. So the list, the Dragon setup is a Dreadlord with the Spell Eater Axe, which is Magic Resist 2 and AP 1. Then I've got Shield, Full Plate. Can't even afford a Sea Dragon Cloak, unfortunately. And that's pretty much him. I don't think there's... give him the Pendant of Kaleth, the 5-up ward, 4-up against Strength 5 or greater. Then the Sorceress has got level 4 Dragon, Tome of Furion to get that 5th spell, and Talisman of Protection, and that takes me up to like 9,999 or something in that sort of realm. Spell Familiar and Copies enjoy us right up here. Yeah, so airbrushes do require some setup and maintenance, and honestly, I need to sort out my stream setup, because this is, you can't see it, but I'm super crammed in a corner, and it's a fixable problem, but like, it's just, when do I have the time? When I have holiday later in the month. That's the answer. I just need to use that holiday efficiently and hopefully not have to paint during it. No Sheila Grant. I can't afford it. 40 points is so steep. Like, 40 points, it's obviously an incredible item, but is it better than having a second dragon? I don't think so. There is a world where I just go to, like, I don't take any casters on the dragons, or I go for level 3. I don't think that's a good world. I think I just go for the level 4 and the slightly less efficient Lord. Skimp a little bit on items, because you got to, and just go, hey, double dragon. Dark Magic really likes Floor Familiar too. Not having Word of Pain is going to sting. Yeah, that is a real problem. 1 game into you and not have all 3. Yeah, so I think basically I'm taking it for Word of Pain, but I just like the other spells in Dark Magic more. The problem is there's no easy fix. I don't think I want to go Battle Magic. I think Battle Magic is super underwhelming for a dragon caster, because you're spending over 500 points to do a Fireball and a Pillar of Flame. And that's just not it, Chief. That's not enough to make me excited. Yes, you can Arcane Urgency, which is very good. And Elementalism is good because obviously you can take the Plague of Rust, assuming you get it, if we just talk on the basis of you getting the spells that you want. So Plague of Rust is really good. Synergizes quite well with the crossbows. But Word of Pain synergizes with the crossbows as well to like an interesting level. So I did some very quick napkin maths, and against the targets I want to be shooting crossbows at, the Word of Pain is as effective, or maybe a little bit more effective, depending. So if you're shooting at anything with like a 6-up save, Word of Pain is, assuming, you know, the Word of Pain makes a difference. Word of Pain is probably going to be better into 6-up save models. Dark Magic's favorite lore for the army for reasons outside of pure optimization. Yeah, Curse of Arrow Attraction is a flat 16% efficiency boost, which is fine, but not super exciting. Spell Eater Axe is appealing. So I'm expecting to see a lot of Bretonian players, and they're going to take the Green Knight because the Green Knight's real fucking good. So, yeah. I really want a magic weapon on there. And also, if I drop the Spell Eater Axe, I have to spend 4 points on some sort of weapon, and then I still don't have enough points to put the Shield of Grond in. So I think I'd rather just go with the magic resist, honestly. Battle magic is focus, familiar, Pillar of Flame, War Crimes. I agree. Multi-round combats. I don't know if I agree all of the elementalism spells are good. I think there are ones in there that I'm super underwhelmed by, and also the signature's kind of pants. Whereas at least with Dark Magic, it's not a great magic missile, but it's an okay magic missile. Like, it's a magic missile, and it's going to do a couple of wounds. And if I've got nothing else to swap into it, I haven't looked super deeply at the signature spells for Dark Magic. Is there anything, not Dark Magic, sorry, for elves in general, Dark Elves? Is there anything there that's like I've missed on first glance that I should be swapping into? At first, I thought there was a -1 strength debuff and toughness, and I just was completely wrong with that. So, yeah, super not jazzed about that. Black Horror, that is good. Flaming Sword is trash. Flaming Sword is trash. Because I don't want to have to tab away. Can someone inform me on what Black Horror is? Vortex is good because it has high range. Miles behind Pillar. Yeah, it's a random move Vortex, and that just kills it for me. I can't... Like, having played with and against Pillar of Fire so much now, I'm struggling to see how to effectively use a random moving pillar. Like, a lot of the time I'm going to put it down somewhere and just hope that it stays still and use it for the dangerous or difficult terrain. And that's not a world that I love. Black Horror, 5-inch template, move 2d6, lose a test, lose wound, no save. That is pretty good. Strength tests. Huh. Close range of Vortex, can't play around that 5-inch. Yeah, again, it's a random move Vortex. But that is quite spicy. That is spicy. Oh, bugger. I've glued this blooming horse together without putting his seat on. It's like my mother always used to say, don't glue your horse until you've put your seat on. I was going to say she was a wise woman. She is a wise woman. My mother is lovely. I should respond to the message that she sent me a couple of days ago. I'm a terrible son, and I should be better at that. No friendly fire. No friendly fire is really good. That is something I do like. So the Elementalism Vortex, I believe, is also no friendly fire. It has been a hot minute since I looked at it, because, again, I don't like Vortex spells that aren't Pillar of Fire or stationary. Cloud of Corruption is pretty neat. Spicy, you can't plan around it. Ends up being spicy and swingy. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate those. They're not something that I love building around, but taking them in a list where you're trying to put your opponent on the back foot. So this is very much like a full aggression shooting list that also wants to play cagey. I know that sounds really dumb the way I just described that, but you want to try and alpha strike a target, and then, you know, just like focus down a section of the board at a time as much as possible. That is my game plan for this list. Trying to stay out of range of the Ruby Ring and Ruin as much as possible, because that thing scares me. Can focus familiar black horror behind something, then wind blast into it. Oh, okay. Okay. Now that I like. That is cute. If only cursing words still knocked opponents down to weapon skill 1. Yeah, am I right in thinking it just knocks down either the weapon skill or ballistic skill by 1? That's not, in some matchup, that's not awful, because you can get dragons to be hitting on 2s, because currently weapon skill 6 dragons is just a little bit sad compared to the star dragon. Black Horror is definitely a good signature for spells that don't have one. Okay, that's good to know. I need to look more closely. I really don't hate the dark magic signature spell though. That's not the worst thing in the world. Used to knock them down to weapon skill 1. Yeah, that seems like elf bullshit. But this Flavor of Elves doesn't have that bullshit. I am looking forward to High Elves. I've got loads of High Elves. Like the first army that I started for Old World, or like started model-wise, was High Elves. Then I was like, oh fuck, I've just got to take a dragon and nothing else matters. Which is like 50% true. And 50% me being super, super not understanding how Old World worked. Which I think is reasonable when you just start out. Wind blasting a unit into a vortex does not trigger the effects, is it? They only come from its own movement. Oh, yeah, no, that's true. That's a very good point. But, yeah, no, that's right. So, Calm's saying, when it moves, you're guaranteed to move off, assuming you don't roll the hit. Because if it's on top of it, Will of Pain is ridiculously weak compared to Itchy Nuisance, short range too. Yeah, no, that's fair. Stops you from double dipping. I'm interested to see how they're going to fix vortex spells in general. Might not happen this edition. Might be something that we get to in 2.0, which I'm hoping is 1.5, because I think the actual basis of this game is very solid, and I'd just like to see tidying up some clearer rules, some clearer skirmish rules. God damn, the man who's playing skirmishes. I just really want to see clearer skirmish rules. Because Itchy Nuisance is one of the best spells of the game. Yeah, yeah, it is. You know what's really funny? I did not swap into it very much at my first tournament when I was playing a Goblin Caster. Isn't that just a wild thing to say? Or at least I don't think I did, from memory. I did not win many games that event. I learned a lot, though, playing against much better players than me at the time. And had a blast. Do you measure the spell range from the caster or the focus familiar? Ooh. Because it says you cast it from the model, right? That's a great question that I don't know the answer to. Who can say? The rules are good, but the rulebook is bad. I think that's fair. Yeah. I think that is a fair comment. I mean, from what we know, right, it was written by Tony Stark in a cave from a box of scraps. So I don't really even blame them for it. I just like to see an updated version as soon as possible. But I think it speaks to how fun the game is, that even despite the rules book being just a bit of a copy edit nightmare, how many people are super jazzed to play it. Also ranged and all effects from the focus familiar. I don't think that includes a dispel, but others agree. Yeah, I can see both ways. I'll be honest, I do not particularly care for rules arguments. Like, when a rule is, in my eyes, clear in one way, I might argue the point for it. But whenever there's any ambiguity, I kind of run out of interest pretty quickly. Because at that point, if it's not like objectively clear one way or the other, I'm just going to ask a TO. and I'm just going to live with that. Because it kind of doesn't matter if you're right or not, because they're just going to make a decision. Always ask TOs before events. Leave that can of worms there and walk away. God damn you, Andy. You seem so nice from the limited interactions. You think you know a guy. You think you half know a guy. Don't know where that fucking comedy laughs come from. I'm not a fan of that. Feels very Wario. So if Wario is the evil mirror of Mario, and I've just done a Wario laugh, what am I the evil mirror of? I'm sure you've got some opinions on that, chat. Thank you, Ginger Steve. I will do that. As soon as I can give you my full attention, I will do so. And again, thank you so much. I assume that's you heading off stream or something along those lines. Waluigi, the other lad from Saffron, Lewis, yeah. No, Lewis would be Waluigi. Because unfortunately, I'm shorter and wider than he is. And he is taller and thinner. And therefore, I am the Wario. Right, I think it's probably a case of build this last model and then call it for the evening. It has been fun. I enjoy doing these. I will say I get fuck all done, but it is fun to. Just got shit to order. That's super fair. Well, I'll send you a message in a sec. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish this one up and then call it an evening because I have enjoyed myself but got very little done, and I have a lot of models to build and paint, and a 2-week deadline, which is rapidly closing on me. Rapidly. It can all come here, but you won't get it till 2077. And by that point, you'll have moved house to a bigger house where you can store your Titan. Huh. How many lances or cavalry spears does this set come with? Is there a spearhead for the... There is a spearhead. Okay, that's fine. I was worried there. I thought I was short one spear. I quite like them all having the cavalry spears. I might make some of the rest of them with crossbows so I can make them as visually distinct as possible. That can be a task for this weekend. I've recently been talking to a couple of 40k lads who are, or ex-40k lads, I should say, very competent in the game, who are going to LGT. So need to get a couple of practice games in with them, because that's exactly the sort of thing you need to bring your level up. Just play against really good players. And the internet is fantastic for that. If the fucking solicitor says you can. Hey, I'm not going to get between you and your solicitor. It sounds like you're on the warpath. How brighter than you, the argue to the death. Yeah. That is, I think that's just the job description, right? Professional argue haverer. Very much feels like the Monty Python sketch. This isn't an argument. Yes, it is. Continue ad infinitum. See, I used Pig Latin there. That makes me smart. I just need one more arm. There we go. That's the arm. That is the arm. While I'm just wrapping things up, has anyone used the Turbo Dork paints? I used one ages ago. Maybe, I want to say when the first run came out, and I was super underwhelmed by it. But I also don't know that I used it correctly, because I only realised you meant to put them on black paint because Pip recommended them to me and said, yes, but you have to put it over a dark or light colour. So I might have just been a muppet and tried to paint it over the wrong colour and have it look absolutely terrible. So that could have been good old user error. That's definitely a possibility. One of my biggest problems in life, he says, being overly dramatic, is that I have quite big, chunky hands. I got spade hands, which is fine, for manual labour. So when I was working for a landlord, that was probably a benefit. But now I'm trying to put models together. It's definitely not a benefit. I'm always envious of people who have got like really, really good finite motor control, who never drop models and just really have their shit together from a modeling perspective, because that ain't me. I say quite frequently, Warhammer's a bad hobby for me because I'm a clumsy motherfucker. Fortunately, it's almost always my own stuff that I knock. It's very rare that I knock someone else's stuff, because that is always a real feels bad. I don't think I've ever caused serious damage to anyone else's models. Fingers crossed. I'm going to keep it that way. Do you miss input when you play CS and stuff? Not really. No, I've got big hands. What paints? Turbo Dork. These ones, Steve. They're like a color shift paint. The effect's cool. It's you probably saw earlier, but that's one layer on the wing. I'm going to put a second layer on. It's like an iridescent shine that goes over light or dark paint, depending on what you go with. Ginger, you learn to paint Templars off J. Means you only get to paint in red, white, black, gold. You can make those colors. Yeah, no, that's fair. Hey, if you can do something well, then through my time in 40k, I've painted a lot of red. Like, I love a nice deep red. I haven't really done any red in Old World. That's cool. You have skinny fingers, but have cancelled it out by the odd tick of just adding RNG to anything I do. All right, just RNG in life. Is that what you mean? Cool. All right. Well, these have been great. I really enjoy having this casual chat with you all. I'll probably do one next Friday as well. It's just a fun time for me. If you don't see me next Friday, it's because I need more time to build and paint. P3 Red's the best red. Yeah, I've painted using a lot of Mephiston red, just the Games Workshop one. But then I wash with green, really nice dark colour. But all right, I'm going to call it there. We're coming up an hour 45. It's a good amount of time. I've built one unit. Good job, me. I've done 5 riders. Really efficient. But yeah, now I've done 5. And when I'm not looking up to read chat, I can probably knock out the next 25 in the same amount of time. In an evening, anyway. All right.